What was that subject I wanted to talk about? Where are my car keys? Did you tell me that? I'm not sure you did. Are you finding that you're forgetting things these days? Memory, brain function. It's starting to go downhill for people, and it's not supposed to. And yet all my friends, and even myself sometimes, make the joke, well, I'm just getting old, forgetting things. It's actually a very serious issue. My younger sister now forgets things. She has early stages of dementia. One of my brothers has now stages of Alzheimer's. Where does this come from? What's going on? There's so many factors, but it's an epidemic of people not experiencing optimal brain function. What is going on? We're going to explore some of those issues today and some practical solutions to keep your brain focused, alert, keep your memory working, keeping your brain working correctly. And when your brain works correctly, you feel optimistic, you feel motivated, your memory works, you're focused, you're motivated, all the good stuff. All comes from having healthy brain. So let's look at what are some of the causes today that are very common that are interfering with healthy brain function and over a period of lifetime are causing people to lose their minds, losing their brains. One of the things you may not have heard of is lead poisoning. You know, everybody was growing up in the 40s and 50s and 60s and automobiles are out smoking up the air. They've done research that if you live near a freeway or you live near cars, because everybody was using leaded gas up until just before the 80s, all those generations, when we're being exposed to the increasing amount of pollution, there's lead coming out of that gas. And they found that kids who had low IQs had higher lead levels in their blood. They found that 25 years later that prisoners, people in jail, all had high lead values in their blood. What's going on here? And now what we find is that there's heavy metal toxicity, lead being one of the heavy metals, is directly associated with Alzheimer's and dementia, inhibited brain function. Wow, you didn't even do that. It just happened to you. You happen to be growing up in a world where there are lots of cars. Fortunately, they've taken that away. We have to be careful for our kids because if your house was built before 1978 or painted in 1978 or before, there's lead paint. And over time, 10, 15 years, what happens is the paint starts to put out a dust. And that dust is filled with nanoparticles of lead, and that's all it takes is nanoparticles of lead. They get into the system, and they get into receptor sites in the brain. When these heavy metals get into the receptor sites, they go in the bloodstream, they get through the brain, get to the brain, then they go into receptor sites that are designed to absorb zinc. When those receptor sites have lead in them, or mercury in them, or cadmium in them, and there's some heavy metals, then the receptor sites don't function and you don't make the proper amounts of GABA, so you're not as happy. You don't make the proper amounts of dopamine, so you tend to have addictions. You tend to have less motivation. You can get bored easily, so you seek out extreme sports. You always have to be excited because just being relaxed is too boring. It's funny when I say people who have inhibited dopamine function can be bored. People say, well, I'm excited all the time. That's because you have to be excited all the time because you can't just be relaxed. You do dangerous things to create excitement because normal peaceful life isn't enough. It's boring. So you don't give yourself a chance to even be bored. You're so busy doing one thing after another. Lack of serotonin. If you have inhibited brain receptor sites due to heavy metals, you can have love and support and be in a nice neighborhood, have support in your life, feel good about yourself. All the conditions can be there, but you don't feel good about yourself. And you find yourself overwhelmed and overgiving and trying to please everybody or giving up. These are all imbalances of optimal brain function, besides just losing your memory. There's a lot more to it. Mood. That being able to sustain positive mood. Heavy metals is a big part of that. So what we can do is try to avoid exposure to it. So make sure that if you're in a house in 1978 and that paint's still there, that you get the proper treatment for that. There's people that specialize in that, getting that old stuff out, new stuff in. But more importantly, it's already in your body, so what do? Heavy metal detoxicity. So I have looked and looked and looked. There's zeolite, which is known to do this, is the most powerful to pull out these heavy metals and free the brain from heavy metal toxicity that interferes with normal brain function. Zeolite, you can find various products on the market, so I've looked at them, I've looked at studies on them, and the one that I like best, I'm just letting you know my look at the research and so forth, is a little bottle that I take every morning. I take 5 drops of zeolite in a little cap of water, put water in every morning, just like a little ritual before I brush my teeth. I put that water in those 5 drops of zeolite, nano zeolite particles, and just drink it down. And zeolite at a molecular nano level will go in and grab those heavy metals, absorb them, and carry them out of the body. And it is fantastic. This is one of these basic, simple things you can do to get rid of heavy metal toxicity. Another thing you can do is occasionally cleanse. That means here's a short version of it. You can go read about another product that I promote, actually developed, was the Super Cleanse. It's aloe vera, it's lemon, it's water, it's enzymes, it's probiotics, and it's vitamins, and it's a little bit of fiber from rice bran. And all of that in a simple little lemonade drink. You drink it, and that's all you have that day or for 2 days. You just drink that with some super minerals. You don't get hungry. You feel great, have more energy. Sometimes you feel a little sluggish, then relax, but go for walks, get lots of walking. But when you don't put food in your stomach, your body says, oh, we're not having to digest today? Well, let's clean house. And so the whole mechanism shifts into detoxification of heavy metals from your brain and from your body and so forth. Your liver also has a chance to clear out. So that's a little bit about heavy metal toxicity, a little bit about optimal brain function, is let's get these heavy metals out of our body. Also, aluminum gets into the brain. And there's a lot of spraying that happens in the sky from planes that puts aluminum into the air as well. So we have to be really careful about all this aluminum toxicity, also known to be associated with Alzheimer's. So that's one thing, is detoxification. 2 is Lipitor. Lipitor is simply what they give everybody who's got already, they're not healthy and they got heart problems. Take some Lipitor and you'll start having symptoms of dementia or Alzheimer's. This was even on TV, they were showing this. That producer never got a job again, I'm sure. But I've seen it again and again, is that people who take Lipitor regularly. So go listen to my talk on heart disease so you understand how to correct that without using these harmful drugs, Lipitor being the most harmful, which results in symptoms of Alzheimer's and dementia. That's all they can say, symptoms of, but actually that's what dementia is. It's symptoms of dementia is dementia and Alzheimer's. I'm going to just look down some of the basics that you want to make sure you're getting every day now, is that we need to get a good vitamin B. All the vitamin Bs are for the brain. If you're stressed or your digestion isn't working well, which is why you need to get supplements, most B supplements are not absorbed into the body. There's one that I found that is. It's a time-released, and you can go onto my website to find Jigsaw Vitamin B, and you can read about it, but it allows your body to absorb the B vitamins in small doses throughout the day so it doesn't just run out of your body. That's vitamin B. Omega-3 is so important for the brain. The brain's made out of omega-3, and the best omega-3 comes from salmon fish heads, right from their brains to our brains. I found that the research shows that can be absorbed by the brain 50 times more. This particular brand that I recommend called Vecto Mega. It won all the awards at the health industry, so I carry it on my show. So I do the research for you to show you what I think are the good things and just let you know what I do. People are always saying, well, what do you take, John? So I have it there. I want to talk a little bit about another cause of dementia and Alzheimer's, and this is some university in Chicago pointing out that actually it's diabetes of the brain, and that's due to unstable blood sugar. So if you want healthy brain function, you need to have stable blood sugar. So you can go to my talk on balancing blood sugar and hear all about that to make sure that your brain works as good as it can. The other thing is, of course, phosphatidylserine, which is you can buy. It's called PS, the #1 supplement for brain function out there. You can buy that straight. I don't sell it straight because I give you a whole dose of it in my superfood shake. Almost the same price of buying phosphatidylserine, you can get my whole shake, which has the easy-to-digest protein for the brain, the omega-3s for the brain, all the vitamins for the brain. It's a full meal replacement along with the super minerals. Super minerals are the most important thing of all. I saved it to the last To get lithium in the brain prevents the degeneration of brain cells. To get calcium into the brain strengthens the memory. To get magnesium into the brain relaxes your brain, allows you to stay cool, calm, and collected. Normal minerals do not cross the blood-brain barrier. That's why my super minerals are bonded to uric acid that will deliver it into your brain. They're the only product that will do it. So there you have it. A lot of great suggestions so you can make sure that you have optimal brain function.